thing to remember is that people are going to follow you for one of two reasons: have to or want to, right? And what happens when we have people who follow us only because they have to, because we're in a position of authority or a position of power, is that we get short-term compliance, right? They do what we've asked them to do because they have to, because we're the boss or the manager or the leader or whatever. And quite frankly, for those of you who've been in positions like that, it's harder to manage people when they're waiting around for you to tell them what to do. They're waiting around for you to use your authority, your position, et cetera, to assert themselves. The other reason, the want to, that suggests that the person has long-term commitment rather than short-term compliance. In other words, the power that you've used to influence in that situation to get somebody to do what you need them to do is based on your personal power, your relationship power, and in the long run, when someone has long-term commitment and that's why they're doing what you've asked them to do, they do it when you're not around. They do it when you're not even there. So what we want in our either in leading ourselves, leading teams, leading groups, leading families, we want people to do what they need to do because they want to, not because they have to. I was actually telling Dean this story last night, and I have no idea why I'm telling it now, but here you go. I'm paying attention to what Joe said earlier. So I was married for a while, and I married someone who had 5 children. Seemed like a good idea at the time. And I wasn't very old when I got married into this Insta-mom situation. And I remember, and some of you, I'm sure, who are parents or step-parents, you've had this experience. All of a sudden, you feel like you're having kind of an out-of-body experience because you hear yourself saying things that your mother said, and you said you weren't going to say those things, like, because I said so, right? And so here I was, I had new authority, new position, and I kept saying things like, because I said so, right? Which is a use of position power, a use of authority. And it was never very effective, I have to tell you, for the long term, the because I said so's, okay? So some of the times I think that what happens is we think that the use of position power is easier, it's quicker, right? But in the long term, the benefits are not that great. In fact, even when I work with law enforcement professionals who not only know how to use position power and authority, they're very good at it, because the best uses of position power are in emergency and crisis situations. I mean, I would argue those are the only good uses of position power: emergency, crisis situations, or last resort. In other words, you've tried everything else, and you need to use your authority, your position power to get that thing done. But even the very best military, law enforcement, those people who are, that's what they do, they know that to gain loyalty and commitment over the long term, it's based on relationships, it's based on personal power, it's based on integrity, it's based on the way we are with the people we lead.